all channels, not only Twitch. At least that's the plan. I think that's what I'm hoping for. That is what I'm hoping for. So somebody should say something. Somebody should say something. And if you guys say something, I might even get Fabby in. I might even get Fabby in. Oh, again, only Twitch? Is that... Is that where we are? Are we only on Twitch? And the big question is, why aren't we on YouTube? And we might be only on Twitch. I see on YouTube too. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It does seem like I'm on YouTube too. Okay, why am I not seeing my chat? Why am I not seeing my chat? Okay, it does seem like we're on YouTube as well. So here we go. Okay. I'm on both, and now I'm starting to see both. Excellent. In that case, all we have to do is let the man himself inside. Let him in the play zone and see whether he decides to say hi. Fabby, hello.
Hi.
How are you doing, Fabby?
What's up? I'm good.
Excellent.
I'm gonna play soon.
Good. There he is. Yes.
It's interesting how cats, they understand what's behind doors. You close a door and they still understand that there's something behind it.
I'm not convinced about that. Are you sure?
No, they definitely do. I think they've studied this. Dogs and cats have this understanding that just because they can't see what's behind an object, they still know there's something there.
Okay, they might know that there's something there, but they don't actually know what's in there, right?
I think they have an understanding of, I mean, if they're familiar with their surroundings, if they've seen it before, they know what's behind an object. Like if there's something behind a sofa, if you take an object, you put it behind a sofa. If they've seen the object beforehand, they know what object you put behind the sofa. They understand that object is there.
It's on a very basic level. I've read that cats have basically the intellect of a 2-year-old. So not a lot. Not great.
No, they're not geniuses. I'm not saying that. But they have these like basic cognitive abilities.
Yes.
I mean, one
No,
of the
for
most
sure.
basic ones is object permanence. So they understand that just because you don't see an object, that it does still exist,
Yes.
even if you can't see it.
Yes, that I can definitely agree with. Cool. Who are you playing? Tell us a bit about today's matches. What should we be looking for?
I'm playing Jules Moussard, Grandmaster from France.
Mm-hmm.
He's I would guess he's around 4th ranked in France, but maybe it's 5th ranked. He was at some point
He's a national
2nd ranked.
champion.
Yeah, he's also a national champion. So of course Ali Reza and Maxime are the highest rated. But before Ali Reza was playing for France, and Jules was close to 2,700, around 2,690 or so. Then he was a 2nd ranked in France, and now he's dropped a bit of rating, but he's still a good player, still a very good player. So
and he always makes it in very close to like semifinals, finals in whatever he plays in these champion chess tours. Generally, he goes into like either Division 2 or 3. I don't think he made Division 1 too often, but he is always going through some stages and gets very close to the finals.
yeah, I played him last year in the Division 1, which was a close match. I mean, it was 1-1, then we went to Armageddon.
Was it in the finals or?
No, it was in the losers bracket semifinals. So after that, I played Jordan, and then I beat Jordan, and I played Noterbeck in the grand finals.
Got it.
That was Division 1, so now it's okay, less at stake, Division 3. Still, we're in the, I guess, winners final. I don't know what they call it. Then the winner goes on to the grand final with an extra life, and the loser has to drop down to the losers bracket and try to grind it out there, where the players are Vincent, Korobov, Gelfand. I think it's actually just those three. So like
Yes,
Gelfand
and
plays
the fourth
Korobov. The
one
winner,
is whoever loses between you two guys.
yeah.
Is that how it works? Maybe not. No. Whoever
No,
loses
it's
should
like
go to the finals.
no. So here's how it works. So Gelfand plays Korobov.
Hmm.
The winner plays Vincent, and the winner of that would play the loser of my match. I believe that's how it works. And the winner of that goes to the grand finals. The loser gets knocked out.
Wait a minute. So that means that they're playing potentially, if they make it to the grand finals, like Korobov and Gelfand and whatnot, if they make it to the grand finals, they play at least 4 matches. That's a lot of
Something like
matches.
that.
That's a lot of
I need to
matches.
go. I'm starting in 2 minutes.
Okay, good
So
luck.
I'll
Have
talk to you
fun.
after the match.
And yeah, we'll chat after.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Fabby's out. Ready to play. I think the games are about to begin. As he already prefaced it for us, it's Fabby versus Jules Moussard, very strong player from France. I believe he's the national champion right now, defeated Fressinet in the finals. Big Frass. So, good player, very dangerous player, and a player that's quite fearless. That's one of the things about Jules. He doesn't really, not respect, but he doesn't really fear anybody, which is definitely a good attribute to have, I would say, in the chess world. It's a needed attribute you need to have to perform well in chess. So that's what we have for today. That's what we have on today's agenda. And I hope you guys also checked our latest video on our response to Dubov. We had some good fun with it. All in good fun. All in good fun. I don't think Fabby has anything personal against Dubov. I definitely don't have anything personal against Dubov. I don't know the guy very well. I've never spoken with him. We just reacted to his ideas. His ideas. Let me just pin this one so that whoever gets in will see this. Let's pin. Come on, pin it. There we go. Cool. Here we go, guys. Here we go. I'm trying to find, where is my iPad so that I can see the chat as well. I can see you guys as well. The response was well measured. It was indeed. It was indeed. Yes. Hey, thank you, Illuminati. Does Fabby have anything against anyone? I don't know. You should ask Fabby. You should ask Fabby. He's not a saint. I'm not a saint. Only saints and Yasser cannot have anything against anybody, I would say. Do we send merchandise to India? I believe we do. I believe we do. You should definitely double check that. By the way, we have a French against the French. Oh, okay. Fabby's playing the French against the French. That's a nice way to start. And maybe perhaps unexpected for the French. Not the opening, but the guy. Perhaps a little bit unexpected. But I have some ideas why you're seeing this from Fabby as well. Didn't Yasser get it? Look, young Yasser, I don't know what young Yasser was doing. I can only speak for current day Yasser, who doesn't have anything against anybody. But back in the days, look, I'm sure Yasser had his quarrels. I'm sure he had his quirks. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know the story of getting into a physical fight with Gary. Okay, the French, knight c6. Another big question is, how do you get your pawn back as white? If you go bishop b3, which makes a lot of sense, then I can just simply go knight f6. And that basically defends my pawn, and it's going to be very difficult to orchestrate another piece to send to the attack of the pawn on e4. So what you have to do as white is actually defend on d4 by pinning the knight with bishop b5. That also keeps the e file open so that you can actually set up another attack. For example, bishop b5, bishop d7. First of all, now you can just simply take. But let's say bishop b5, and now I go knight f6 to try to defend the pawn on e4. Then you can use this bishop, which was previously stuck to the defense of the pawn on d4, if you play bishop b3, to just pin this knight. So it's a game of pins, right? And then next move, you're going to take on e4 most likely. These are the type of ideas that Jules needs to understand, and he needs to do it fast because he only has 8 minutes and he plays d5. He did indeed, after Gary knocked over the pieces during a time scramble. That's funny, actually. That is funny. I can see that happening. I can see that happening. I can see Yasser getting frustrated. Nothing of that sort would happen right now. And I don't know Yasser from the days. I don't know his temperament. But I would assume it was just like any other top level chess players, which is, you know, a bit on the competitive side, if you might. Fabby just equalized. You can just go long castle right now. Long castle more or less forces white to take on c6. I don't think you want to allow the knight to go to d4. So once you go castle, you take on c6. By the way, castle is on. You take on c6, b takes c6, and this is just a very equal position. So basically just equalized out of the opening. To be honest, I don't think Jules is going to try for long. I think he was a bit surprised, taken aback by the opening choice. And Fabby, obviously, it's not going to try to, you know, force matters with black. A draw is fine. You have white next game. So that's the situation right now. That's the situation, guys. Love your tier list for the Olympiad. May you do one for the upcoming Global Chess League as well. That's an interesting idea. Tier lists have definitely done very well on the channel. Shout out to Alex for coming up with that idea. But yeah, we might do that. We might do that. Who knows? The above comments can be said about any line of work. IQ or DNA are not the only determinants of success. Great podcast in general. Thank you. Cheers. Cheers, man. Nihal Sari. Tremendous player. Tremendous player. Has slowed down a little bit recently. So that's a bit unfortunate. But, you know, not everybody can become Gukesh or Prague. So obviously, he's been falling a little bit behind compared to those two. At the same time, he's still a tremendous player. Very strong. Again, a bit overshadowed by everybody else that's coming out of India. Prague, Gukesh, Erigaisi. To name the big three, let's say. There could have been a big four, but Nihal is, yeah, he's still a very strong grandmaster. Tire list. I don't know how it could be tire list. 95. Okay. If Fabby wants a draw, he just plays 95. 95, knight takes d5, take on d5, put the pawn on c3, get the rooks on the d file, exchange everything, and then sign the score sheets. Sign the electronical score sheets, which obviously do not exist. They do not exist. So the way it works, the format of this match is 4 games. This is the finals of Division 3. This is the winners bracket finals. So the way this works is they play 4 games. Whoever wins, whoever gets to 2.5 first, or perhaps overtime, if it's 2-2, we shall wait and see. But whoever wins this match is going to go to the grand finals of Division 3, where they will be meeting the winner of the losers bracket. So 2 matches, at least for Fabby. At least. And even if he loses this, which obviously we hope is not going to be the case, even if he loses this, he still has a chance to come back from the losers finals. Because whoever loses this match goes to the losers brackets finals. Big 5 with Vaishali and Divya. Yeah. No, in the women's is Vaishali and Divya super strong. Super strong. Arjun failed to reach 2800. Yeah, that's the definition of failing upwards, yeah? If failing. How do you even get yourself to use the word failing? Yeah, it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. Not saying that you shouldn't, but it's just very, very difficult. I mean, the guy failed, and he's like 2790. Up from 2720 at the beginning of the year. So obviously has been a tremendously successful year for Eric Icey. I am indeed, yes. I am indeed the same person in flesh. You might be knowing me from there, yes. Who overpushed? Will we see a woman being the world champion in our lifetime? What are the odds? Our lifetime. So, okay, I'm going to consider mine, right? 60 years, if I'm super lucky. Right now, I'm 30 plus. So let's say I live to 90 plus. Look, I'm going to... Okay, let's make it 50. 50 from now, right? It's possible. I would say the likelihood is quite low, for the simple fact that, I mean, we don't have the data to back a more optimistic prognosis right now. So without that data right now, I think it's pretty safe to say that it's a fairly low chance of that happening. Well, thank you, Mr. Shah. Are you second of Fabby? I've seconded him a few times. Yes. But we mostly work much more during the candidates qualification process. Like, candidate years are much more aggressive in terms of preparation, and we've done that for this last cycle, for example. But no, my main job is not seconding Fabby. Turkish kids, the next big thing. They're really good. Obviously, they're very, very good. Gurel and your Dogmus, really strong. I mean, your Dogmus is like, what, 13 years of age or something like that. He's ridiculously young, super talented. I believe he's around 2600 already. The youngest, whenever it happened, the youngest 2600. So the question is, where will he stop? What's his ceiling, right? We never know what the ceiling is at such an early age. Like, you can predict, you can guess, you can speculate, but you cannot know for sure. But the odds are definitely looking good for both. Really strong players, both of them. Struggling to reach international master. I mean, I think generally trusting the process is extremely important. I remember, at least for myself, I also more or less got stuck at the FIDE master level for a little while. So I went to like 2380 really quick because I had high K. So I went from like 2100 to like 2380, very close to the IM level, and then I dropped. Then I dropped for like a year and a half. I think I went from 2380 to like 2270, and I was like, okay, is this like, am I stuck or what's the deal, right? But then slowly but surely I continued working. I continued putting in the work, putting in the hours of analysis, mostly middle game work, a lot of opening work as well. But for the most part, it was solving difficult problems. And then I actually made the jump to international master, and very soon after to grandmaster. So everything kind of came together quickly and in quick succession. Boom. Game 1 was a draw. I mean, we knew that a long time ago. I told you guys that it's going to be a draw, and to be honest, it wasn't like the most exciting game ever. But the blueprint for that was obvious a while back, right? So yeah, this is what I would advise you if you want my advice and you ask for it. I would just continue working, do a lot of position solving. That's quite important. Middle game, tactics. I would assume that's the one thing that you really should be focused on right now. And obviously, you should supplement that with opening work. So focus on those two aspects, opening work. And the opening work, generally already at that level, you can do deep opening work. What I mean by that is you go deep into the position. Like, you don't stop when the theory says you should stop. You just continue going deeper and deeper into the position, and that not only helps your opening knowledge, advance your opening knowledge, but it also helps advance your understanding of the position, of the middle game structures, and so on and so forth. Sounds boring, but that's basically the blueprint. How is our very own Harshit Raja doing? He's doing well. He's studying right now. He's in class right now. He's in class. Okay, let's try to kind of understand what the plans are right now. We've been talking about this opening work. Let's understand what the plans are. I like the fact that Fabby somehow manages to, in fact, save this bishop on f4. It looks like it's about to get trapped with g5. But in fact, you can just simply take on d6, obviously, after g5. So this whole maneuver of bishop f4 to make space for the knight was really cool. Because instinctively, you want to put the knight on f4, more or less. Definitely, you don't want to lose a tempo and then put the knight on g3. But it's a very cool maneuver, because now the bishop on f4 is in fact a very good piece. And it's going to take you a while for you to be able to attack it with g5. I mean, you can do it right now, but that weakens your structure so much and your position. And I'm ready to take advantage of that with my knight already on g3. Queen h5, f4. And if you continue being stubborn and really hunting this bishop, then I just give it to you. No problem. I give it to you. You take queen h5, and basically you can resign. You're getting mated. So very cool. Bishop f4, knight g3. Only one game has been played, so it was a draw in the first game, and you can actually see the score if you look on the stream. If you look, let's see, boom, right here. right here, and right here, you can see the scores. So it's half out of 1, meaning they made a draw in the first one. Since when I'm working with Fabby, I mean, since like a long time ago, 2018, we worked for the first time for the candidates in 2018, which he won, and then we continued working during the World Championship match and so on and so forth. Took a break, 2020, 2022, between 2020 and 2022. Then we more or less resumed our collaboration. Yes, but I'm just showing you an easy way to follow. Easy way to follow, White Wolf. Easy way to follow. Do I think Fabby's motivated to do well here or not? I mean, he obviously hates not being in Division 1. But guaranteed he's very motivated to do well. How dubious is the Olapin? It's a great opening. It's not dubious at all. Recommended. Recommended. At least B6, look, at least B6 created a weakness. So you might as well try to take advantage of it. Fabby's thinking. And he's thinking for a specific reason. Yeah, Rook C1 is a good start. Why not? Let's just play Rook C1, right? Bishop B7 most likely is going to come. I mean, you played B6. There's no other way or other reason to continue. And then maybe I can start threatening stuff. F3. Let's go F3. Maybe you can also go Bishop B1, Queen D3. Prodding at Black's pawn structure. Because after Bishop B1, Queen D3, he's going to have to go G6. And that creates another weakness. Maybe later on you'll be able to take advantage of it. So let's wait and see. Peter Heine is the most successful coach second ever. I mean, he's up there. Definitely up there, yeah. I mean, I think he worked for both Vichy and Magnus. So that's a lot of world championships between those two. Based on the numbers solely, I think it's very hard to deny that he's one of the most successful ones, if not the most successful seconds in chess. Could be, yeah. I mean, coach and second is a little bit different. Is a little bit different. Like when I'm thinking about the coach in chess, I'm thinking about the coach, but a coach that takes you from a level to a different level, but not that helps you, aids you in the process of playing for these very high level competitions. That's what I see second. Like basically only 2700 rated plus players start having seconds. You're not going to have a second up until you're 2700 plus and fighting for the top spots. Like you're going to have some coaches before that, but once you hit a certain rating, once you hit the 2700, 2750, then you have a second. And that second is a bit more of a helper, if that makes sense. Like I wouldn't necessarily see them as coaches, but rather seconds as helpers a little bit. No, I think that's minimizing the accomplishment, Rahit. Very much minimizing the accomplishment. I mean, sure, it helps when you're working with the best. Yes, you work with the best, your game is going to be elevated, and you're going to do better as well overall. Whatever you do, if you're working with the best, if you're working for the best, the results are generally there when you're dealing with the best, right? It only makes sense. It's only like logical. But you cannot minimize and say that anybody would have done that. No. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. I mean, a second brings a lot of ideas, a lot of preparation, a lot of motivation. It's a complete mix that you need to have to be able to be a successful second over the long period. And obviously he seems to be bringing that to the table. So I would not minimize his accomplishments. Merci, Andrei Amaritsa. I used to know, I think his name was Amaritsa Andrei. Maybe that's the guy. Maybe that's the guy. I am not going to spill the tea. Milliseconds, yeah, right. How long until seconds are replaced by AI? I mean, if you find that, you're going to become an instant millionaire in the chess world. If you find an AI that can analyze by itself at the level that the AI right now can analyze guided by humans, you're going to be an instant millionaire in the chess world. Chess.com is going to call you if you manage to build that. If you manage to build Stockfish that works with Stockfish and is able to be guided by Stockfish at the same level or even better than humans can guide Stockfish, instant hit. Chess.com is going to give you a call next day. He's going to be like, here's $10 million. Would you like to sell us your company? But that's a good, I mean, look, if it happens, it happens. It could happen. Who knows? Who knows? But it's a vacuum to fill. Look, if you're an entrepreneur in the chess world and you're looking for ideas of what to build, that's one idea. You're welcome, Navs. You are welcome. I really like what Fabby's doing. Opening the position on this side, but also keeping only the pieces on the board that will aid in the attack. The bishop and the queen, they're gonna create this beautiful battery on this diagonal. They're going to be looking at the king very soon. Once you take, I'm going to take with the knight. I'm going to take with the knight on e4. And guess what? My knight on e4 is going to be extremely powerful. You're also very rarely going to be able to go c5 because this queen on f3 is going to keep a very nice grip on that diagonal. I'm not saying it's impossible. No. I'm not saying it's impossible. I just don't have the technical skills to do it, but yes. With the advancement in AI right now and with what they can do and how well they can position and guide themselves to find information, I can see that being applied to chess. Yes. And it could happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. You need a lot of energy. You need a lot of computer power. But with that, with those boxes ticked, then I think you might be onto something. I was just starting to work on a similar idea, but can't spill the beans. Spill the beans. Spill the beans. What is the guiding? Finding the reason behind the evals. I mean, not always. No. I mean, the reason, everybody can read the eval, right? But the thing is, the eval, if you only read the eval, it's always going to go to zeros. Like, ultimately, it's only going to go to zeros. So what you have to do is basically just come up with ideas that the computer might not even be considering because they're so far up their initial feed of evals, and try to work those out. Bishop f8. Whoa. Queen f5. What is this? Queen f5. You don't have g6. There's no g6 because you take on d7 and knight f6. Oh my goodness, that was a missed opportunity. Queen f. Okay, I'll show you guys. Queen f5. Basically, right now, there's knight d6 or knight c5 coming with an attack on the bishop and an attack on checkmate. The only way to defend against that, generally, in this type of position, is to go g6. Stop it. But the problem is, now you're just losing a piece. So queen f5 was a win on the spot. Bishop c4 is still extremely good, but it's not winning on the spot. I'm making a custom human error and trickiness focused engine. I like that. I like that. That's, look, you're doing man's work. Don't underestimate Musard. Musard is not to be underestimated. We already discussed about it. He's a very strong player, currently the French champion. You need to be very good to be the French champion. Knight h5. Double exclam. Boom. Knight e5 you can take. Take. You have to take it with c-pawn. If you take with the queen, knight f6 just finishes. So you have to take with the c-pawn. But now I can just go check. Take. I guess you have to go king g7 and rook c7. Check. Check and rook e1. Yeah, I guess you have to sort of understand how this position is, how good it is for white. So king h8, rook e1, I think is the idea. Thing is, you don't have queen d7, and that's why you gave a check on g4 first, so that black doesn't have queen d7. Queen d7 is essential because otherwise you're not going to keep contact with these two pieces. So you have to go queen d8, but now you're starting to have some difficulties defending everything. Queen d7 no longer works because of rook c7. So that's a nice, by the way, I'm just spotting this. Fabby has 3 minutes against 1 minute. Rook fe1 perhaps too slow. Rook to e6, a very good move, which covers the 6th rank and defends the 6th rank very, very effectively. So rook to e6, an important, crucial move found by Jules. But AI will already be working on chess. So humans will not be working on chess anymore either, because chess is going to be done. That's a bleak future right there. Knight takes f4, and now you have to go rook e7 most likely to defend on f7. I like what Fabby's doing right now with this last move, knight to f4, just for the simple fact that I really don't like the fact that this knight on d5 has such a stable position, and I would have preferred that to be exchanged. Now at least you're getting your knight to a better square, e5. Yo! Is French taught in your university? Yes. We have French classes. We even have masters in France. French. Take on d5. Take on d5 and get the knight to c5. I won't tell you that, Navs. I will not tell you that. Now that you asked me, what is he thinking about? Really? That was an interesting decision, to say the least. I guess he wants to go c5 and get the knight to d6. Is that the plan? Like, for example, knight somewhere, knight b6, let's say. You go knight d6 first. No, but not rook d1. I guess rook d1 is fine. Knight d6. Just go knight d6 now. Bishop takes, e takes, and then rook e7 is coming. This looks very, very dangerous. Yeah, no. Knight d6 is good. Yeah. No. This cannot be good. This cannot be good. There's no way you can take on c4. d7 is going to promote, followed by rook to e8. And if you don't do that, then keep going. d7. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. No reason not to push. That's my coffee cup. Oh, you mean the one that I sometimes have? No, this is a normal sized coffee cup. It's not oversized. It's just a normal coffee cup. Is it one of the most dangerous cities in the world? I would assume so. I would assume so. I'm not living in St. Louis, but I do go to St. Louis quite often. There's good parts and there's bad parts. Crime-wise, yes, there's some bad spots you don't want to go to. I would assume that that's the case in most major cities, but yes. On an objective scale, St. Louis is somewhat dangerous. Do Americans consider St. Louis small? No. It's not a small city. No, it's a big city. Queen d6. Queen d6. Focus on taking on c5. Maybe even queen e7, followed by queen d8 and rook e8. Yes. No. Can you take? Probably not. Queen e7. Queen e7, take, and bishop to c6 so that rook to e8 doesn't work. Or bishop c6 first. Okay, so queen e7 actually is not a good move because of bishop c6. Queen d6, I like this. Now you can go queen e7. Now you can go queen e7, yes. Bishop c6, queen c5. Oh, nice. Checkmate in one move. Beautiful. Beautiful conversion by Fabby. And here we go with the third. And let's hope the final game. Look, 1.5 to a half. If Fabby wins with the French, then he takes it. He takes the match and goes to the grand finals. Most dangerous in the world? No. Again, look, there's dangerous spots in most major cities, St. Louis being one of them. I guess, again, if you look at the data, then there's probably a lot of crime in that regard, but it's only scattered in the bad parts of town. Does Fabiano speak Italian? Not so much. The Rogozin is very good for any level. And it's kind of an easy one to learn. Compared to the Nimzo, it's much easier. Much less complex than the Nimzo. And way less to learn than the Nimzo, I would say. So yes, I would recommend the Rogozin for sure. Knight e7, knight f5. I mean, knight e7, you gotta get your knight either g6 or f5. I like on f5 because you're targeting d4, and very rarely will white be able to kick that knight away, because g4 you always have knight h4. So the knight on f5 is in fact quite good. What do we think about the position, guys? What do we think about the position? Haha, 0.1. Don't you hate that? Don't you hate that? We used to have white is slightly better because of that, that, and that. Now we have, no, it's just plus 0.1. Plus 0.1. It's equal zeros. We didn't know the truth back then. Back in my days, we didn't know the truth. It's kind of how I feel. Old man screaming at clouds. But yeah, that's the situation nowadays. That's the reality for most of us nowadays. I would say black has a very comfortable position. If I would be to analyze this from a practical perspective, I would say black has a very comfortable position. They have achieved most of the things that they were looking to achieve out of the opening. This bishop, the French bishop, will have an open diagonal very soon. You only have one weakness, and that is the pawn on e6. Most of the pieces are on very optimal squares. I would be happy. I think Fabby should be happy. Oh yes, that is the much more useful metric. Practicality is extremely important. Extremely important. And that's another thing that seconds in general and helpers and coaches are very often focused on. And that's kind of why it's so difficult to understand whether AI is going to be replacing the job of a second anytime soon, because it's so difficult to sort of get to the realization when you're analyzing a position that this, despite the fact that the initial eval that computer is giving is, let's say, much less optimal than the top 10 lines that the engine is recommending, but on the 11th line, let's say, you have a move that if you follow it and if you go deep enough into, is going to give a balanced fight. But from a practical perspective, it's a much better alternative because it creates more problems along the way for your opponent. So this type of trade-offs, when the AI is going to be able to find and spot and analyze those trade-offs optimally, then that's when we're in trouble. That's when things go downhill for coaches and commentators and whatnot. If you have that, you can basically just create a hologram of a popular commentator. Hologram, popular chess commentator, based on AI. And you can code the AI to be as good or as tricky as a combination between Magnus, Fischer, Gary. You throw in a few world champions in the mix, and Christian. Then we're kind of done. Then my work is done. My work is done here. I was watching the Olympia during the USA versus Romania In Fabby deck, were you biased in any sense? No. In general, whenever I have two students playing against each other, I do not care too much about the result. I simply don't. It's a rest day for me, more or less. It's kind of the same when Romania was playing the US. Whatever happens, happens. Like, I have very strong ties to both. So I would say whatever happens, happens at that point. I mean, it's very easy for me. It's just like, it's the easiest way to deal with that. And it's the healthiest way to do that as well. Look, whoever wins, wins. Whoever was the better player or the better team on that particular day wins. They're both my students. Now, obviously, they're both my favorite teams, let's say. But this is how I approach matters whenever two of my students play. Thank you, Ritik. Glad you enjoyed it. Fabby's looking good. Fabby's looking good, guys. If bishop takes g6, first of all, that's really bad. You're going to allow me to take with tempo on f3, pick up the bishop back on g6, and then you're going to have to deal with the consequences. Your pawn structure is completely damaged. So you have to take, and now the question is, how do you defend f2? The answer is rook f1, and that's a very good answer by Musard. Very good move. I don't know. That's an answer that I cannot give you. That is an answer I cannot give you. Am I watching a Collegiate Chess League? Of course I'm watching Collegiate Chess League. Collegiate Chess League happened on Saturday. Of course I was watching Collegiate Chess League. I'm not watching only Collegiate Chess League. I'm captaining my team during the Collegiate Chess League. I would say it was very good. Romania did very well. I mean, a top 20 finish, but top 20 coming from the top. Like, it wasn't an Olympiad where you didn't play any of the top teams and you just won a few matches towards the end against lower rated teams and then you made it top 20. No. They were at the top and they were in fact meeting a lot of very strong teams along the way. They've played, I'm trying to remember, outside of the US, they also played Poland and they defeated Poland, in fact, which is a very, very strong team led by Duda. I think they played Ukraine as well, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong on that one. But they had some really decent clashes and they held their ground in most of those. So I would say Romania did quite well, yeah. I don't have free time. China, yeah. They did lose against China, didn't they? I think they lost against China. My job is done on this diagonal. Let's go to the other one. Let's go to the other one. Let's go to the b8 h2 diagonal. Create more weaknesses. And then maybe, just maybe, I can go rook takes g3 at the right moment. Maybe I can go bishop c7. Yes, very good move. Very nice move. Nicely spotted. Thank you. That's not gonna work every day. Look, that works occasionally. That works occasionally, but not every day. Not every day. Let me set the chat. Let me set the chat on my screen, on my second screen, so that I can chat with you a little bit easier. All right. I would say working together with somebody definitely helps, because you spend so much time with that certain somebody that you kind of understand how they think, how they view certain positions, and all of the good things. So yes. Is there a physical sport you think is most similar to chess? Yes, jiu-jitsu. I can tell you that I think that's the one, because I practice it. So it's kind of one I know as well. And I would say, yeah, it's very similar. But I mean, most 1v1 matches, 1v1 sports are going to be somewhat similar. Somewhat similar. There's going to be 1v1 strategies involved. Show us your cats. I will show you my cats if the cats come here and they want to be shown. Cats are not here. They're shy. They're camera shy. He will be joining, yes. He will be joining after the match. And there's another match after this one. No matter what happens, whether he wins or not, there's another one coming. At least one more. At least one more. At the very least, there is one more match. Polo? No way. No way. No way. I mean, first of all, it's not an individual sport. It's a team sport. So I don't think it can be compared to chess. Any team sport is very difficult for me to compare to chess. Pole vaulting. Okay, you guys are trolling right now. Like swimming, for example. But no, because swimming, it's you versus you, more or less. Right? Like there has to be a clash. So any sport that doesn't include a clash, like a direct clash between two competitors, then you cannot really compare to chess. There has to be the clash. Boxing is one of them. Yes. Tennis is another one, because there's a clash of ideas, a physical clash. Like even in chess, there's a physical clash. You move the pieces. You move the pieces in front of your opponent, right? There's a clash. I used to play that in college. I used to play Super Smash Bros. Yeah, you got the race plan. I mean, you're not, again, it's you versus you for the most part. Like you're competing against your own time, the time that you're setting. Like you're not being influenced, or at least you shouldn't be influenced by your opponent. Like any sport in which you're not directly influenced by your opponent, it's very difficult to understand, to compare to chess. I mean, there's psychologically maybe some aspects that can be related to chess or can be similar to chess, but not that much. What's the Yard podcast? I don't have time for video games. And to be honest, I was never a big video game player. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Why aren't you guys participating in Team Chess Battle? We're not. I don't know. Are we or are we not? Yes. Now that you put it that way, it kind of makes sense. Filippo, yes. We should... Why is Fabby thinking for so long? Okay, so probably just get the knight somewhere, right? Get the knight to f5. That could be an idea. Try to go for e5. That's another idea. Bro, immediately as I say it, he plays it. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. He's probably worried about bishop b4. Bishop b4, the thing is you most likely have to go bishop d6. You cannot allow. Yeah. So now it's the battle between I have the f5 square and maybe I will have the e4 square as well. But you have some really good squares as well. Alert! 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 Game over. That's game. That's pretty much game. Okay, not completely game, but almost game. I don't like this knight f5 necessarily. Knight e4 was much better because you eliminate the knight and then you can still take on f4. So now allowing the knight to leave on g5, it's not as useful. He was quick to find that. Yeah. I mean, once you put the knight on f5, you're always looking for this type of tactics. Once you put the knight on f5, you're always there. Always looking at these tactics. Knight e7, get knight out, and then pressure f4. That's why he played g6, so that after knight e7 there's no checkmate. Might as well go knight e7. No, okay, rook c8 is fine as well. It's a fine move. Get the king to g7, defend the pawn on g6, and then go rook to f8, rook c6, rook c8, and try to invade via the c file. Invade via the c file. That's the plan. Am I going to write a book soon? You guys are asking me some really big questions about like big projects that require generally a lot of energy. I would say I was pretty decent at writing, but in general I never had a huge interest in writing. Like I've done some writing, I've done some journalism. But I simply don't have that much interest in it. I think I'm good at it. Don't get me wrong. I did write some pretty decent articles, if I may say so myself. But I don't have a huge interest in it. Can you take? I mean, he wants to go here, but knight d4, queen b7. Okay, this is easy. You have e5 coming. You're also opening up this diagonal. Yeah, this is game. I think this is game. Knight takes d4. Yeah, but I mean, I have a feeling even. Like rook takes f4 followed by e5. Like what do you do after rook takes f4? e5 is also, yeah, and rook takes f4. Rook takes h4 is coming. Knight f3 is coming after you take on c4. Now you can just go rook takes h4. You can start with taking on c3 first if you want. You do have to calculate. You do have to calculate because you're allowing one check. But you take on c3, take on c3. First of all, you can start with knight f3. If he takes on g6 first, you go king f8, take on c3 back, knight f3. In order for white to continue defending the knight on h3, he has to go king g2, but that allows knight h4, knight takes g6. So you're winning in multiple ways right now. Johnny DJ. What's up, Johnny D? Johnny D. Knight f3 is coming. This game is over. This match is over. This game is over. The match is over. Queen f4 followed by rook to c1. You go to h1 or g1, rook c1. I pick up the queen. "18 seconds though. 18 seconds though. Whoa! Poor Jules. He had queen f4 pre-moved. He had queen f4 pre-moved. That's why he went king h3. And Fabby just played rook takes g2. Okay. The position is completely lost anyway, but it's kind of a funny way to finish it. Nice match. Game, set, match. He has another one. Yes. He has at least another one. He officially made it to the grand finals right now. Let me give our guy an opportunity to join us. An opportunity to join us. If he so desires. I don't know if he wants to. I think he does. I think he does, guys. I think he does. I think we're going to get him. I think we're going to get our guy. I think we're going to get our guy. I know. The camera is... There we go. We're back. I think we're going to get our guy. The grand final is tomorrow, not today. Oh, so they changed it. Okay, well, that means that this is it. That means that this is it. Wait, is he in?
I'm in.
He is in. Boom. What's up, Fabby? Congratulations. Nice victory all
Thanks.
around. Done it in 3. You didn't have to, but you've done it in 3. That's good. You're
Every
me...
match, I think. Oh no, my first match against Hike wasn't a 3.
No, but all of the ones that
yeah, maybe my second game I didn't play too well.
Wait, well, you did something to your camera, didn't you?
Ah, no, sorry.
No,
I'm here.
You're good. I see you now. Cool. Okay. Chat, say hi to Fabby. He's back. He's victorious, and he's ready to move on to the grand finals, which apparently doesn't happen today. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's tomorrow. I knew that.
So I guess they changed it after the big drama between Alireza and Hikaru?
Well, that was an entirely different tournament.
Was it?
I mean, that was a bullet tournament.
Ah. I always had the impression it was the Champions Chess Tour. But no, that
was the bullet. Right. That was the bullet championship. But right. The thing is, like, if the grand finals were today, just imagine how much the person in the losers bracket would have to play potentially.
Exactly.
They would have to play 3 matches, and then the grand final is potentially 2 matches. So they would play 5 matches, and all those matches could have Armageddons.
Yeah.
So it's, I think they wanted to avoid that. On the other hand, I do feel like I basically don't play like a full, like it just feels like I'm going in for an hour, and then it's very, very short each day, right?
Yes.
An hour and a half, and then I'm done.
Yes.
So they definitely changed the format compared to like, or maybe Division 3 was always like this because there's so many players in Division 3. It's a much bigger knockout event. But like last year, I remember playing very long matches and sometimes 2 matches a day and quite long ones. And now it's just 1 match a day. Okay, could be rather long, but ends up not being too long.
I mean, last year,
I
remember what they were doing last year with the play-ins. They were doing the play-ins, 10 rounds, and then they were playing matches to qualify for the stages, for the divisions.
Yeah.
That was
It
like
was
an
it was
8-hour
long.
day, more or less.
It was a long one, yeah. The second game I'm really disappointed in because I had this interesting idea. New move, bishop f4 in the second game.
Let me just pull it out. Let me pull it out. Second game. Yes. With white.
Like
Yeah.
new move, bishop f4. Yeah, nice idea, I think. You know what the surprising thing to me is that after bishop to f4, to me a very logical move is bishop to f5. Right? And then after bishop d6, bishop d3, bishop b7, bishop b2, bishop d8, bishop d1, normally I would think that this is an equal position. But after bishop c7, the computer thinks it's like a pretty solid edge for white.
You just take on b8 and then go minority attack, yeah?
King not even taking on b8. Sometimes taking on b8 is an idea. But it's usually just playing the obscular bishop. You just play like, not even a minority attack. You put the king on d2, you play f3, g4, h5. And then you just start maneuvering around, and it's like very unpleasant for a long time for black. Black doesn't really have ideas. That was a bit of a surprising positional theme that I didn't know about, that these kind of obscular bishop Carlsbad positions can be kind of annoying.
That's
but yeah, also nice bishop take b8 is an idea sometimes. No, and then b4. That's also a concept.
That's a really nice point. Yeah, bishop f4, this was the move that I was trying to kind of explain and telling chat that it's a really cool idea. It looks like a loss of tempo, but it's not. I mean, it just like harmonizes your position.
Well, the thing is, like, very often white is playing castle, and then he plays like in the game rook e8, for example, and then he plays like bishop f8, and then some kind of minority, well, not a minority, I don't know, he plays on the queen side very often, a5, knight a6, b5 sometimes, or knight c7. And when you play bishop to f4, it's kind of a new concept, because with knight on g3, you stop any bishop f5 ideas, and then you don't necessarily put the queen on c2. So you take out the bishop f5, and then if black goes for like a5, knight a6, very often he's getting hit with f3, 4 at a good moment. So the knight on g3 is actually just well placed. And what he did was logical, but okay, b6 is probably not the way. Actually, an interesting idea was very often a6 and knight b5. That was what the computer sometimes liked. The b6, I didn't know what to do exactly, but I thought I played pretty reasonable moves. And then, of course, after bishop f8, yeah, it's queen f5. I mean, it should be easy to find this g6, queen d7, like, okay, simple tactics. Queen f5, I think practically I just win on the spot, basically.
I think queen e5 is
like
over, yeah.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous to play bishop c4. And I played it quickly. With the idea knight f6, knight h5, I missed knight d5. Like, how do you miss this? And then I couldn't evaluate bishop d5 properly. Like, it felt right to do this, but just couldn't evaluate it.
Yeah, bishop d5 is a bit tricky. You have to see, I think, queen g4, maybe. Maybe you don't have to. Maybe after queen takes e8, just queen g4 check is extremely powerful.
King h8?
And then rook e1.
And
queen
then d8,
you're basically getting the best, and queen f4. And you're winning a pawn.
Yeah, queen f4 and rook c7. Okay. Yeah, I didn't, because I thought, like, I'm not really necessarily making progress with queen f5, but queen to f4 and rook c7, that's very strong. Okay, so, and I'm a bit surprised that knight e5 is like, actually, yeah, it's not so surprising. I mean, f6, I don't know what I wanted. Just stupid. Just stupid. I'm just losing a piece. Yeah, I'm so lucky in this game. It's a stupid moment. Yeah, knight e5 was kind of like banking on his time trouble in a way.
Yeah, okay, he had like 15 seconds at this point. I think it's fair to...
Yeah, okay, after rook d1, I think practically white is favored practically.
After rook d1, yeah?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Okay, c5 was definitely a mistake. He had to play bishop a6, but I saw this rook e4. That's why I played queen d3. With bishop a6, rook e4, I was pretty happy. I thought I had like very safe, possibly winning, but very, very safe as well, which was the most important thing.
Yep. No, I mean, with the pawn on d7, I think it's safe to say it's a much easier position to play for you.
Yeah, okay, kind of a poor game, to be honest, but what to do? And then the last game, was that a good game?
I thought so.
Not so good, yeah.
No, I thought it was fine. I mean, okay, some misses here and there, but like you were the one creating stuff. Like bishop d8, bishop c7 was a nice maneuver, obviously. And he was playing good as well. He was really defending well.
Yeah, actually, I think h5 was a positional mistake. I think h5 was a positional mistake. I should have just played queen e7. Because then I realized that he has this like f4 stuff. Then I got worried.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came up with this knight e7, which was quite, because first I was thinking bishop d6, but then he gets the knight to g5. So I calculated this line after knight to f5, and I thought he doesn't get the knight to g5 so easily. Like king h3 after knight f5.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have rook g6, and okay, he has to take some time to consolidate fully.
Yeah, he has to go rook
But knight
g1.
f3 is just, yeah, just very bad move. I mean, knight f3,
It's a
just
blunder.
huge blunder. Like at first I just couldn't believe it. Like, did I miss something? But yeah, he just had like a moment of blackout, kind of.
Yeah.
So, and then, yeah, I was probably objectively winning or very close to it.
No, that was good. That was really good. Let's take a look, since I have you here. Let's take a look at what's happening in Division 1, should we?
Sure. Division 1. So at Levon 1?
Well, I mean, let's just check the finals. I mean, we don't have to go into all the other matches. We can just go to the finals. Is it being played right now, or?
But there's no game going on right at the moment. Are they playing the losers bracket first, or am I mistaken? Like Levon beat Maxime in a losers bracket. So I think that Levon will play Ali Reza, and then we'll see Magnus.
But there's
opponent.
No matches.
Maybe Magnus has a rest day.
Okay.
So we have a losers bracket, and then it decides who plays Magnus. It's Levon, Ali Reza.
Yeah, no. In that case, I mean, we don't actually have a lot of matches to follow. Yeah, no. I think that's more or less it.
By the way, is my video okay? I feel like my internet's not too good at the moment.
No, it's fine. I mean, you're coming in and out occasionally, but the sound is good. We can hear you. And to be honest, I'm not following.
Wait, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Christian?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear us? I think we lost Fabby. We lost our guy. Guys, what's happening? The Mafia is coming after us. The Mafia is jamming our signal.
No, it's my internet. Can you hear me better?
Yes, I can hear you. It's not the Mafia?
There's like multiple networks. I was connected to the wrong one. Like it's not a very strong signal. There's a few boxes, and I'm at my parents' place.
Got it.
And so depending on which room you're in, you need a different box. You need a different network.
Got it.
So now I'm connected to the right one. Okay, so wait, actually it's interesting. Do you want to like follow Gelfand against Keimer for a bit, or do you think people would actually want to see that?
Sure.
Because they drew the first game. This kind of decides my opponent, right?
I think that they keep saying
like Gelfand made it all the way.
Jospin. Very interesting match, Wesley versus Jospin.
Division 2. Very interesting. And then Lazovic will play. So Lazovic has qualified for the final 8 again. You can't keep Dennis down. You're
not keeping Dennis down.
No, nobody keeps Dennis down. Nobody puts Dennis in the corner.
That's right. Now he's playing Vidit, by the way. Losers bracket semifinals.
Dennis.
Should we watch Vidit versus Dennis? Oh no! Wait! No.
I really feel like Dennis is it. So here's the thing. Like normally, I would say Vidit just got a bit unlucky. He's playing Dennis, and it's going to be a tough match. But Dennis has already qualified, so he won't have the same motivation that he would otherwise have. So maybe Vidit has a pretty decent chance in that sense.
Yeah, whenever you kind of
now, if Dennis had not qualified yet,
right. I mean, whenever you're
Dennis has achieved the goal.
A lot of things kind of mellow down, right? A lot of motivations mellow down.
Yeah, he's not as must win as he would otherwise be. Okay, Wesley playing Jospin, Jose Martinez. Wesley's
Drawing the
plus
first
one.
game.
No, he's plus one. Yeah, he won the first game. Oh no, wait. No, Jose Martinez is plus one. Sorry,
Jospin is plus one.
I got Jospin is 1.5. Okay.
Yes. And right now Wesley's fighting for survival with white.
Yeah, but no, he's not. They're in the winner's bracket. So the loser will play either Vidit or Lazovic.
Correct.
So it's not for survival yet.
Correct.
It's a good match to win, of course, but it's not for survival.
Not for survival in the bracket. Yes. Survival in the match. Like he needs to win this one too. Actually, no.
Okay, but let's follow Vincent against Boris because I'm actually playing one of these people. And they're playing the second game of a 2-game match. The first game was a draw. And like I'm going to play one of them. So I'm kind of curious. I mean, I know that Jospin and Lazovic are big. They bring the eyeballs.
Big draws. Cool.
Big draws, yeah.
Boris is playing what used to be, well, I guess not necessarily suspicious, but
wait. Sorry. I'm completely mistaken. It's not decided who. Like the winner of this will play Jules Musard. So I made a mistake. So the winner of this still has to get through another phase.
Correct.
But potentially I'm playing one of these guys or Jules.
Correct.
Is it Jules or Jewel?
Should probably be Jewel. In French, it probably is Jewel.
That's what I say, and then I hear Jules, I'm like, I'm not sure anymore.
And it's probably not even Jewel. It's like Jules. I don't know. I would say it's probably Jules. Jules Musard.
Yeah, you have to at least pronounce the L a little bit. I mean, like it can be a soft L, but there has to be a little bit of an L there.
Jules Musard. Yes. That's my guess. Without the S, yes. It's definitely without the L.
It's definitely without an L. I don't know French pronunciation.
No. Without the S.
Without the S.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
They're telling me très bien. Très bien, which means very good.
Well, you spoke a bit of French back in the day, right?
Back when I was very young, yes. I haven't been speaking French in like 20 years, more or less.
20 years?
Which is a pity because I was actually
very decent. 33 now?
Yes. Yeah, I went to France when I was about like 10, 11. I don't remember exactly, 10, 11, 12, something like that. And I actually stayed in France for maybe a couple of months. And by the end of it, I was quite proficient in French. It's easy for Romanians to learn French, especially when you're young.
Well, similar grammar, like a lot of words must be very similar, both Romance languages.
Yes.
But I mean, the French sounds are pretty different from Italian and Spanish.
Yes.
At least. And I guess also from Romanian, right? The sounds are very different. Pronunciation.
They are. No, and I was very decent in English at that point, and everybody was telling me that it's going to be much easier for me to pick up French compared to English, and it was actually correct. So by the end of it, I think I was speaking better French than English, and I had a jump start on English, quite significant jump start at that point. But yeah, Queen d4. What do we think of this, Fabby?
I mean, the position is very. I think I would rather play black in short time control. Because white's a bit loose. Like you have to make use of the H file. I would definitely consider d3 here as like the most logical move because bishop e3 is coming. I don't know, is queen d4 connected to? One of my thoughts is queen d4 is connected to knight g4, like d3 knight g4 is an idea.
Yep.
The other thought is that he just wants to have queen b4 at some moment, but I'm not sure I want to trade queens, so I don't know about queen b4. Because one of the issues for white is the king is a little bit, in the center, it's a little bit weak potentially. But in the
Mm-hmm.
endgame, white has the central pawns, so that's a important plus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A computer shows knight f3, but I'm not sure that I would consider this move because okay, the knight looks good on g5. Like d3 comes to mind.
I think d3 makes the most sense, right? D3. The big question is, okay, he played it. He played d3.
Yeah, so
Uh,
now the thing is like, is knight g4 the idea behind this? And then how does white respond to that? Is it after knight g4, do you play knight d1? Do you play knight c to e4? But then bishop to e6? I'm a bit scared to allow so many tempi gaining moves. Um, Knight g4 doesn't look right at all. So maybe knight d1, because at least you don't allow bishop. Oh wait, sorry, no, knight c4 doesn't allow bishop e6. What am I saying?
yeah, you
So
cannot go bishop
yeah,
b6.
yeah, I'm not. So knight c4. But then maybe there's also somewhere queen d5. I don't know, not immediately, but maybe bishop to f5 first,
People
and
want to see
then
people want to see your cat. Where's your cat, Fabby?
well, he's not here at the moment, so I'm not going to go searching for him.
Yeah,
He could be in one of a dozen places.
there's no cats.
Knight c4 is the idea. Okay. So now bishop to f5. Okay, we're kind of predicting the moves. Bishop f5 came.
Uh-huh.
Okay, some good predictions.
Yes.
And now, what's black's idea? What's white's idea? Well, okay, black wants to play rook b8. White's idea is less clear cut. Maybe queen c2 comes to mind.
Hmm.
That's a quite logical move, queen c2, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you see how I mentioned, like, I don't like dealing with all of black's activity here.
People are asking who is Boris Gelfand. Interesting.
Okay. So Boris Gelfand, okay, to be fair, like he was born in 1968, so he's
Yeah.
a generation that
I guess he's not
new
known
chess
to
viewers,
the new generation, yeah?
not the new generation, but the new like generation of, I mean, they might, I don't know the age of the people we're talking to, but maybe they started watching chess in the last 2 years, right? So
Of
Boris has not been
spectators,
as
yes.
prominent.
Yes.
Yeah. But okay, he played a world championship match in 2012. He won the candidates in 2011. He was a top player for, I would say, a period of like early 1990s, maybe even 1990, to more or less like 2013, 2014,
Yeah.
around this. So a bit over 2 decades of being, or maybe around 2 decades of being a top player.
Oh, he's around
He won one.
2700. Basically has
Well,
a
he was probably 2770 peak, but maybe around that.
yeah.
Um, I think he won one World Cup, 2009. Um, he played Vichy Anand in a World Championship match, was tied 6-6. Wait, was it 12 games or 14 games?
I want to say it
I think 12.
was 12. 14 was only
And then
recently, right?
yeah, but yeah, I think 12, 6-6, and then
Mm-hmm.
they went to a rapid playoff. He lost 2.5-half, and Vichy remained world champion until 2013. So that's Boris's career in a nutshell, I guess.
And I want to say,
Obviously,
even in the playoffs, he had some very decent chances. I'm trying to remember the games, but I remember the moments, and I remember him having some really good chances in those tiebreak games. Do you remember the games?
no, it was a very close match. Um,
No, I'm talking specifically
I
about the
spoke,
tiebreaks.
yeah, tiebreaks too. I mean, he lost, I think, the last tiebreak game, and it was one of these Roslimo at the time, Gelfand, and I think Gelfand still has the same repertoire as back then. He was playing the Sveshnikov Roslimo, and it was one of those like bishop take e6, bishop takes c6 Roslimo games,
Yes.
and he won one game in the normal classical games in a a6 Slav, very nice game. But then he lost very famously in, I believe it was 19 moves, but it might have been 17 moves in a Grunfeld with f3. Just like got his queen, he just got his queen trapped. It
Yep.
was a complete disaster. Um, so yeah, Vichy was definitely not in the best form. Like I've spoken to people on both sides of the match. Rustam was working with Vichy at the time. I've also spoken quite a bit with Levon, who was working with Gelfand during Gelfand's team was very extensive. Levon was one of the people. It was guys like Rothstein, Huzman, Elyanov, Gelfand, Tomaszewski, not Levon,
Those are
Tomaszewski. It was like
the
really,
ones that I remember. Levon, I guess, was not on site, yeah, because I remember they had like some sort of a photo shoot after or during the match, and Levon was not in the picture.
yeah, probably just did training camps. I think like probably the people who went with him were, I would guess
Rothstein,
Huzman was always with him.
Tomaszewski, and Elyanov and
I mean, Huzman was always with him.
Guzman, yeah,
Like he was his trainer for forever.
yep,
Okay, actually, back to the game. So Gelfand's better. He's outplaying him.
yep.
A5, nice move. It's not obvious because you might think like knight BD4, but then the bishop just drops back to D7. E5 comes. So I don't know. This is a scary moment for Vincent. He has to hold this game because I think in an Armageddon he's a maybe 80% favorite. Very big favorite.
So right now it's.
Did you see what happened yesterday?
I did, and actually people were asking, what's
This is
our
like
opinion
I
on
don't know.
that?
Like what is? I mean, I understand blundering a threefold, but if you even think that there might be a chance of a threefold, you just have to like any random move wins. You're gonna flag your opponent at this point.
Mhm.
So like any possibility that you're heading towards even a twofold, you don't even want to repeat twice. Just like don't get near there. And threefold with like king and pawn endings is very confusing. It's easy to lose track. So you don't even like don't repeat once. Just like play D6 and you just win. D6, king f6, D6, D5, F5. I mean, but even random moves would have won just on time. That was weird game.
Obviously, we're talking about the Hans versus Gelfand Armageddon game yesterday, where Hans was in fact winning, had like 3 extra minutes on the clock against 30 seconds or something like that, and he repeated the position. Yeah, crazy. And by repeating the position, he was with the white pieces, so Gelfand got the win.
Yeah, that was the end of his tournament. Okay, so Vincent has to survive. So okay, knight d4, bishop d7, a4 comes to mind for me because I just want to get that knight. Okay, reasonable also, but now maybe e5. Now maybe it's
e5, e4 looks good.
Now the knight doesn't get to, because I really want to get rid of the knight on b3. So e5, he wants to play bishop d2, but then e4. No, then knight d4. Okay, so e5, bishop d2. How do we refute this?
Rook b8.
Maybe rook cb8. Sorry?
Rook b8, one of the rooks, maybe rook ab8.
I like rook cb8. Yeah, rook cb8. Because then after knight a5, rook d2, I threaten, or knight a5, even e4 is strong. Threaten rook takes d2, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And like, for example, rook b2, knight c6, rook takes a4, right? And we just collect on the last rank some possible lines.
Oh, yes. That's a nice one.
So, yeah, that's
big moment.
Okay, e5, it's an important move. Because the issue is Gelfand might not realize that he's so much better. We see the bar is going up and down, right?
These are the chess.com ratings, guys. Obviously, Vincent is not 2784. In fact, Boris's rating is very similar to that, I would assume, nowadays.
Yeah, he might actually be that. But these are the rapid chess.com ratings, yeah.
E5.
But Boris may be right. Okay, so look, I have nothing against Vincent. He's actually a very nice guy and everything, but I'm still rooting for Boris. I mean, you can't not root for Boris in this situation.
You want the legend. You want the legend to win, yeah?
Well, I mean, it's just so he's not an online player. He's definitely past his best years by far. He's nearly 60 years old. He's a great player, but it's an underdog story. So of course I'm rooting for him to win this.
I love it. Yes. To be honest, I'm in the same camp. Vincent has many years ahead at the top. We're going to call a lot of his shots, but yeah, Gelfand definitely would be a cool story. And we don't see him very often play this type of events and do well in them.
Yeah, it's going to be an uphill climb for him because he's not used to online chess. Armageddon is not good for him. He has no mouse skills. he if he doesn't win this game, I really think that Vincent will take the match pretty easily in Armageddon.
I just realized the people don't have the bar. So I'm going to give them the bar. Because I actually think the bar is good. I know some people don't like the bar, but I think the bar is good. It's good for
I would still
for the viewers.
I would still favor Vincent in this situation. I still think that he has a better than 50% chance of saving the game, but I would have said like Hans against Gelfand yesterday at some point is just like 99.999% chance that Hans wins. So you never know. These things are unpredictable. People like sometimes talk about kind of choking or you like miss an open goal basically, but there's a lot of tension in these, and you have to make split-second decisions. Very often you have like 5 seconds to make a crucial decision, and like we saw it yesterday between Magnus and Ali Reza. Like it's a critical last game of the match. The winner wins the match, and these guys both missed that a queen is hanging. So there is nobody who is consistently good when they come down to like these last minute things. It's too difficult. I mean, I think if you don't make major blunders, you're already one of the best in the world. So if you're not hanging pieces with seconds, you are one of the best in the world. But even the best players can also hang pieces when they're down to seconds.
Very easy. Yeah, very easy. No, it definitely looks funny from the outside, especially when you don't understand how tense these moments are and how prone to mistakes you are whenever you're in this type of spots. But and when you have the bar as well, as a spectator, it's very easy to kind of judge whenever you have the bar. But I feel that kind of warped my perspective of how difficult chess is as well. And okay, obviously I'm at the GM level, but it sort of warped that perception of how difficult some positions are.
Yeah, that's like even just knowing more or less what the evaluation is so hypercritical. Like in classical, you have a good idea. Like if you have, a few minutes to survey a position, you'll have an idea where you stand more or less, unless it's very, very chaotic. So more or less your evaluation function will work, and this is super helpful. When you're down to seconds in a blitz game, you can't really have an evaluation function because it's just too many like random tactics. So you don't know where you stand, and that's why one of the reasons why so many mistakes happen, because you don't really know where you stand in the game. Like, are you trying to equalize? Or are you in a position where you can play for an advantage, and so on?
Yeah.
But then if we're talking about like split-second decisions, very often you can't even like have time to survey the whole board. You don't even see where the pieces are. That's why mistakes happen. Like not mistakes, but why blunders, outrageous blunders happen. Just because you like Magnus played c takes d5, hanging his queen on a6. It's because he didn't have time to see the board. He had 5 seconds and he just made a move and he didn't like look at all the pieces on the board.
Yep.
And the landscape of the position was changing too rapidly. Like, okay, the pieces were all over the place.
Yep.
And Ali Reza had like 3 seconds to see that the queen's hanging. Now, maybe most of the time he sees it, but it could be like he sees it 70%. It's just that his eyes have to actually see that the queen is there. It has nothing to do with chess skill. It's just like you have 1 second to look at the position. Do you see that a queen's hanging or not?
Correct. Yeah.
Maybe if someone just like screams the queen, of course, then you take it. But in your mind, you have to do all that processing very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Like that kind of mental process, like, do I have something I can capture in the position? It happens sort of organically, almost spontaneously. And it has to happen, like you don't tell yourself, look for captures. It just has to happen completely organically in a second. And if it does, then you spot the pieces hanging. If it doesn't, then you don't. And that's what happened.
Yeah, no, chess is tough. Chess is definitely tough. Now, Vincent has 8 seconds. He just played this move, rook h4, which is probably the right decision. Taking on e4, I think, was just losing. take on e4, allowing the rook to come to c2. Maybe even rook c4, rook takes a4. Sorry, rook b4, rook takes a4.
No, rook c2, yeah.
Rook c2 just wins, yeah.
It's f3, bishop f3, so you have to play something like, who knows what, bishop.
Oh, that's nice, yeah. No, this is...
I don't know, you have to play like knight g3 maybe, just like you put your pieces in a bad position.
Yeah. Cool. Rook h4, 30 seconds right now for Boris. Has been spending his last minute trying to find the best way, and 8 seconds for Vincent. Vincent is in trouble.
No, I think he's going to hold this. I mean, he's definitely in danger.
Do you think he's going to hold?
But
no, rook b4,
if he doesn't blunder anything,
coming.
Rook b4, but okay, rook b4, I'll find rook b4 bishop to g5, for example.
No, I think he's going to blunder something. I mean,
no, I think they will both blunder something. I just think that Vincent probably will, because Boris is about 2 moves away from being down to 5 seconds, just like Vincent.
But Vincent is down to 2 seconds right now.
I understand, but they're going to be in the same, like they're both going to make basically random moves, and I think he'll probably hold.
Rook b4.
It's of course, it's not a fun position. The issue is that it might be like practically very difficult to make the moves.
Check, yeah, check, and bishop e2.
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe he's a big favorite to win now.
Whoa!
Still, it's not a guarantee yet.
What was this bishop? What?
Yeah, things are gonna happen, but
bishop d1. Bishop d1, knight c3.
Yeah, white coordinated.
Yeah, but
now he's defending
a3 a2. A3 a2 is coming. A3 knight
a3
c2.
knight c2.
Shoot. 7 seconds against 6 seconds.
Oh wait, king e3, but now a3. But you don't have a way to make progress. Yeah, the knight on d4 is just very strong.
Yeah, he might have some.
Yeah, now
he might have.
Yeah, now he holds it. Now he holds it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Boris needs to be careful not to flag.
So it does look like he doesn't flag with increment.
I'm not sure.
He actually keeps a pretty healthy buffer on the clock.
You think so?
I mean, he doesn't get below 5 seconds. Like he
rook e6. Yeah.
And consistently makes moves with 5 seconds. Okay.
Yeah, now it's over.
So we should look at the Armageddon, although it will take a while. I don't know if you have time.
Yeah. No. I'll stick around.
Yeah. Vincent is a good defender. He's not a perfect defender or anything. But I think this rook takes e2 moment was not easy because rook e2, king f3, bishop a6.
Wait, what?
And then you have to see, like he had rook takes e2 with check, right? Actually, there was also bishop takes e2.
I thought bishop takes e2. That was
bishop e2. Maybe that's easier.
I guess he was afraid of. No, but rook f4 you just go f5, so you save the pawn on f7 quite easily.
Maybe he just didn't see things like f5. You know, he had 10 seconds. He was just playing on instinct.
I think he basically looked for a couple of seconds as rook takes e2. He didn't trust it. I think he had bishop a6 at the end, and then he just didn't spot bishop b2 and played bishop b3. Try not to flag. Vidit Lazovic Armageddon as well. Okay. Let me try to find this one. It hasn't started
yet. Levon continues to play the Armenian variation of the French with great success.
Give me just 1 second.
He's holding.
Give me just 1 second.
Comfortably.
I need to be gone for 30 seconds. Keep chatting with the chat.
I can't see the chat, so it's hard to chat with Oh, Vidit is beating. I told you guys, Vidit is beating Lazovic. You know, Lazovic achieved his aim, and he couldn't fight Vidit after that. And Wesley's also winning the match against Jose Martinez Alcantara. That is over, which means that we will see a Vidit Jose Martinez match to decide who plays Wesley. Wesley is a big favorite to win Division 2. Yeah. But Okay, that makes sense. Not too shocking that Wesley's a huge favorite to win Division Two. Boris Vincent, we will see soon what they bid because now they have to bid for Armageddon, and the rules are basically one: white will start with 10 minutes, and black will start with a time that is bid upon, and black will have draws. So if black draws, black wins the match. And if white wins, of course, white wins the match. So you have the white pieces and you have a time advantage. But that time advantage could be a 4-minute time advantage, could be a 1-minute time advantage. You know, people sometimes make some extreme favors. You see 10 minutes against 5.5 minutes, sometimes you see 10 minutes against 8.5 minutes. But I think very common is to see like 7.5 to close to 8 minutes. That's very common. Traditionally, Armageddon used to be 5 minutes against 4 minutes with no increment. Now there's all sorts. I've played 10 against 7. I've played the bidding process with 15 minutes base time, with 10 minutes base time. And the 5 against 4, the like old style is pretty much abandoned.
I'm back.
Nobody really uses that. Welcome back.
Probably a question for Fabby mostly. Which one is harder to win, candidates or a World Championship match?
Candidates. I think it's simple numbers. In the candidates, you have 8 players, and everyone has, of course, a different shot, right? Different probability of winning, but everyone has a certain probability. And like, let's say you take one of the top players, maybe they have a 10 to 15% chance. Maybe if Magnus were playing, we would say that he has a 40% chance of winning. But everyone takes a certain percentage. So if everyone is equal, then everyone has a little bit over a 12% chance, right? But it's going to be pretty low for most players. It's going to be pretty low. In a match, if I'm playing Ding, and let's just go by ratings and not by form, and people will of course argue over that, but let's just go by ratings, then I'm a bit higher rated. I have an over a 50% chance. If we're equal, I have a 50% chance. There's no world where I have a 50% chance of winning candidates, and the only person you could argue has a 50% chance is Magnus. And I think even that, I don't know if he would be given 50%.
Yeah.
Now,
by the numbers, definitely seems to be the candidates for sure.
So I don't think another argument can be made than that. Like if you had me play World Championship match every year, I would win a certain amount, I would lose a certain amount. But if you had me play candidates every single year, I would maybe win 15 to 20% at the very most.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 20%. I would be pretty proud of that. That's actually, I think, what I've won. I've won 1 out of 5, right, which is 20%. So I'm not like, I don't think that's crazy. Maybe I could have won 2 out of 5, right? It was possible, but I don't think that anything more than 2 out of 5 was realistic.
I mean, okay,
I was never really.
Nepal won 2 out of 3 or something like that.
Yeah, of course, there's going to be outliers.
He's a huge outlier.
I mean, he also lost 100% of his World Championship matches, but it's again, he has better than 0% to win a World Championship match, and he is better than 100% to win. He has worse than 100% or 66% to win candidates. I mean, it's just a very small sample size. Like I would say, Jan, if he played candidates right now against the top 7 in the rating list, taking out Magnus, then he would have around 10 to 12% chance of winning. 10 to 15 maybe, something like that, which is reasonable. I don't mean this as a dig at him. That's a perfectly good amount for a top player to have. Mm-hmm. Now, if he played a World Championship match against Sting, I would consider him a favorite, not a huge favorite, but a favorite of sorts. If he played Gukesh, I would consider it about 50-50. Jan against Gukesh in a World Championship match, about 50-50. Just to give like some examples of players who have played and are going to play World Championship matches.
Right. Now, obviously, do you take into account previous world champions' performances? when you do those percentages, because okay, let's say we're taking Magnus. Yeah, he won 100% of his previous matches, which were quite a few, like 4 matches before his last one, 5 now. Yeah, so let's say Magnus was still playing the World Championship match. Like, how would you put him in terms of percentages based on the fact that he already has won 5? Like, he has 100%.
I'm not going to look at the past matches too much.
You don't think that influences the
I'm going to
percentage?
look at his general winning record, and it depends on his opponent. He would be, because again, like one of those matches was in 2013, another match was in 2014. It's a long time ago.
Yes.
He would of course be a heavy favorite against anyone, but yeah, there would be people who have a reasonable shot against him, and it depends a lot on who it is, right? Like I think if Ding were playing Magnus, probably nearing 0% chance to win the match.
Well, currently, yes.
Oh yeah, of course. But I'm talking about current players. I can't go back in the past. Okay, 2019 Ding, of course, he was very, very strong. I mean, he still is very strong, but of course it's different. Now, if it were like Gukesh, someone super motivated, I still consider Magnus a pretty big favorite, but we're looking at more reasonable odds, something like 70-30 maybe, right?
Yeah. And it could also work
let's...
against him, actually. You know, it could very well work for him, for Magnus, for the champion, for the current champion, let's say. Let's assume Magnus is the champion, right? But it could also work against him because you're losing motivation, as we've seen with Magnus. Whenever you defend all the time, it's not a new experience. You don't get the same motivation, or at least you need to work harder to get the same type of feelings.
But the thing is, like for Magnus, the lack of motivation led to him just not playing.
Yes.
If he were playing, I think he would still have motivation to not lose, not play badly. But let's focus on the Armageddon game because it is happening.
Yes.
They have started. It's about Boris White.
Boris is White. He got 10 versus 7. 10 versus 7, I think, was the bid. Obviously, Vincent has draw odds. And yeah, the opening didn't go very well for our.
But it's not bad. I mean,
Boris.
It's a tough position, so it's a fight. It's not good for White objectively, but I would say the objective evaluation will not matter so much in the coming. Like the decision making is going to make the difference.
Yep.
Mostly like playing reasonable moves quickly. You can do that with White. That you have a lot of kind of easy moves, like Rook to E1, for example, with E3 ideas potentially. With Black, you have probably a better position, but maybe the moves are a bit more difficult to come by because you can't really play F5. Like, I mean, you can, but it looks like it's weakening. You can't play E4 so easily. You can't really move your bishop or your knight from D6 or C6 without like
F5 F5 on the board. But now
because you needed to find a useful move, and F5 was like the kind of logical move, but it's a bit weakening too. So that's why I said maybe like White's play is a bit easier. But now after F5, White feels like, okay, I need to do something. And so it's very logical to play E3, for example. Very, very much a move that comes to mind, in my opinion. And it's probably not a good move. He wants to play B4. He wants to play B4.
He could have played B4 before. Like before Queen B2. Before.
before Queen B2.
Yes. Queen B2.
But I don't know. I mean, you have to see, like, I don't know, maybe that leads to a simplified position. It might not be a good decision also. Because there's a... Sorry, one second.
Yeah, Queen B2. Try to go B4. I mean, this actually looks very decent from a practical perspective, given that you're already up on time. Like, this is the type of position that you want to have in an Armageddon game with White. If you cannot have like a better position, obviously a nice advantage would be nice, but
yeah,
this type of complicated position can swing very quickly.
Yeah, so he's up 2 minutes, and Vincent is taking his time here. He didn't want to start with E4. I don't blame him. That's a difficult decision to make. After B4, what does he want? Because B4 threatens C5.
He has to go B4.
I would guess he wants to take in B6. That's my guess.
Yep.
But then B6, okay, E4, because B6 you have to calculate knight H4. It was a bit tricky. So now c5, and okay, c5 was a very important move, I think. But he wants to take on d4. Logical.
He just wants to take the pawn.
I think this is a 50-50 game. I can see it going either way. Like, yeah, fe4, you have to play quickly. But he's probably thinking about d3, ed3, and then bishop f3, bishop e5, and sacking.
Just go crazy.
Sacking,
that actually looks a bit tempting. You're going to have at least the opposite color bishops. So even 2 pawns down, this could, with a nice bishop on d4 after knight d4, knight takes, could easily be holdable for black.
I don't know. I don't like this because knight d4, bishop e5, e3. You have to play concretely with black down a pawn, and I don't think that it's so easy to take and then play e3 here. And if you don't do it,
he didn't.
Then white. No, I mean after e3, like black should take and play e3.
Oh yeah.
But I would think queen f6 is maybe the most logical. But then, okay, bishop f3, not a bad move. So now c5 is a very, like, you should play c5 quickly because it opens up the idea of queen b3 check. So it's one of those moves that just creates threats with no downside. Because queen b3, knight e6, right? Of course, I do see the chess.com mentioned, so it's not like I'm a genius saying these moves. But when I see the move, it really comes to mind. I think I would play that.
I like c5.
What's the time? 5 against 2. c5 quickly. Boris, it's...
Yeah, 5 against 2.5. I mean, double the time. Decent chances. Decent chances for Boris to swindle this one.
I mean, not even swindle, just like it's an equal position. I mean, the thing is, he doesn't want to play c5 because black will take in queen d7, and then black does regain the pawn. So, but he does it. Good decision. King h8, also good move. Yeah, it's a bit difficult for white to find moves here.
How long are you gonna play chess for? When do you plan to retire, Fabby?
I don't know.
Magnus said that he's gonna stop whenever he doesn't enjoy chess anymore.
Yeah, it seems reasonable. I enjoy chess. I have no reason to stop.
Like probably kind of the same, yeah? Whenever you stop enjoying it, that's probably time to call it.
I don't see myself not enjoying it. Okay, I really like what Boris is doing. He took on f3, that was a gutsy decision, but he's forcing the onus. The onus is on black to prove the compensation now after rook fd1. But he should play rook fd1 quickly. You can't, like, it's scary that your king is sort of in a mating net, but you can't fear ghosts.
I mean, you already made the decision. You already made the decision, take on f3.
Okay, rook ad1, but rook fd1 was more logical. Like, why rook ad1? Because you need the queen to go to f1 to protect against queen h3.
Yeah, that was a bit strange. He just doesn't see black getting there, I guess.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, for example, queen g6, queen d3. Right? Yeah, queen g4. First. But then if queen d3, I take, and rook takes d4.
Yes.
And queen d4, queen h3 is checkmate. So that regains the pawn. But very scary situation for black because you're down a pawn, you have to prove it. If you make vague moves, you maybe end up just down a pawn.
Yeah.
So, yeah, also...
He went for
now,
it, is the problem. And I think once you play queen g6, you kind of know that you're going for this. Rook fe1 and then queen g4, queen c4, yeah?
Yeah, then after bishop d4, ed4, or rook d4, there's no sacrifice of the rook.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely... I mean, Boris is not... He's playing a good Armageddon game, I would say, so far. The nice thing about queen c4 is that it threatens queen e6 ideas.
Ooh.
But there's rook takes d4, there's tactics, so maybe you don't really threaten. But yeah, Boris definitely needs to play rook queen c4, rook fe1 and quickly.
Show some nice tactics. Queen to e6 doesn't work here because of rook takes d4. You take. So that's...
I'm not sure I like this move. Okay, but Vincent is speeding up. At least king h1 was probably a surprise.
Rook d5, okay.
Yeah, he's playing much faster than Boris now.
I mean, Boris still has 3 minutes against a minute 30, so still double time.
Yeah, but that goes quickly, very quickly.
That goes by fast. Yeah, the big question is how do you defend against the checkmating threats that are coming? And bishop takes d4, rook h5 now is starting to become a bit of an issue.
Well, you always have rook takes d4, so that's not really a scary one. Like queen
Rook
c4, if
d4.
rook d8, some move, bishop
Oh,
d4, rook d4 always.
queen c2. Okay.
Yeah, this is forcing queen g4, which is not what you want. Okay, he has knight b3 in mind, I guess. But that's scary looking. Maybe he doesn't have knight b3 in mind. Maybe he just wants to play rook g1. But now it's like it's random territory. You just make a random move, and it'll probably be better than thinking. Like rook g1 here, just play quickly and like okay, you just need to play quickly at this point.
Knight b3. He's really finding the best moves. But
Well,
he's spending too much
sometimes.
time. He's spending too much time on it. Rook d8, okay. Just seems like
So
Vincent.
normally you trade on d5, right? And rook g1.
Yeah.
But maybe knight d2 comes to mind.
Knight d2. What's the problem with knight d2?
Okay, bishop c3, I don't know if I see him finding that. Because the point is that
Rook
queen
h5.
c3,
Oh, wait.
queen h3, rook g1, queen h2.
Oh, this is sick. This is sick. Let's see if he finds it. Huge moment right now. Bishop c3 wins on the spot. But it's a ridiculous tactic. This is a ridiculous tactic. Yeah, of course. h5.
Yeah, I told you, it's random territory. Okay, h5 is definitely off. Okay, rook g1 very quickly. That's an excellent practical decision. Knight to e4, I predict here. After bishop f6, knight to e4 is the most logical move. Just play it quickly.
Knight e4, play
Okay,
it.
bishop e7, logical. Knight c3, I predict. Which also looks like a fine move to me.
Pretty
Okay, now he'll
fine.
play rook
All
e5.
of his
I know.
moves.
But now he allows queen e4. Queen e4 is very tempting.
Knight
Okay, he's
e5.
going for knight e5. I like it.
Knight
Knight
d4.
d4. Oh, okay.
Ooh, that's a nice knight.
Now, why is he thinking? Why are
Knight
you
d4,
thinking,
bishop
Boris?
f6.
It doesn't
then
matter.
knight
Just
f5,
play knight
yeah.
d4. You'll figure it out after.
Yeah,
Knight
just go
f5.
Knight f5. Yeah.
I see him winning this now. But you see, the time is very close. But the knight on d6 is like a monster. I mean,
Ooh.
I think Vincent is just going to like start to collapse on in this position. Queen b4 he'll play maybe. The
Queen
knight
f5,
d6.
Queen f5 or Queen g6. That's it. Queen g6 wins. Queen g6, Queen g4, Queen e8, King h7, Knight f7 probably wins.
Wait. Are you seeing moves? I'm not seeing any moves.
Rook d7 is the last move. Queen g6, Queen g4.
Oh yeah, I just like out for a second.
Oh no, he's going for Knight f7, but that's probably
Knight
not
f7
it.
was.
Knight e4. Still
Okay,
anything
yeah.
can happen.
Nah, Queen e8 was a miss.
Still anything can
Not
happen.
Bishop e7, it's tough. Queen f7 is a brilliant move. But it's hard to find that. Because your knight's hanging. But you pick up the rook on d7. Yeah, I think he's going to get flagged. Or isn't getting flagged here.
If he actually finds Queen f7, I mean, that's going to be a stroke of genius. Queen c8, okay.
But the thing is, Vincent is so much faster. So he's...
Yeah.
Yeah, this is over.
Yeah.
I mean, he's actually playing pretty well. Knight d2. Maybe I underestimate Boris. King h2, at least your moves are easy.
What?
Knight c4.
Oh no, he missed
Okay. No, but it's random moves. Rook f1, come on, rook f1. Knight f3.
Oh, still in
He has
it.
easy moves now.
Still in it.
Easy move. King
Knight-
h2, King h2. King h3, King g2.
Knight d4.
Rook c1, Rook c1.
Oh, Rook c1. Oh, he might be winning this.
King f1, King f1. Oh, he's gonna win this.
Holy smokes, he's
Take
winning
knight
it.
e1.
He's winning it.
Pre-move for us. Rook c2. Pre-move.
Oh my
Pre-move,
goodness,
please.
he's winning it.
Pre-move. No, he's not gonna pre-move.
He's winning it. It's all good. It's all
But he's
good.
not
He has it.
pre-moving.
He
It's
doesn't
not,
need.
it's not all good.
He has
What
it.
do you mean? He needs to pre-move.
Oh wait, he's on
What do you mean?
1 second. I just realized
Yeah,
he's on.
I'm telling you, he's getting flagged. What do you mean he has it? He's getting pre-move. He doesn't pre-move.
I thought there's increment.
No, it's Armageddon.
There's no increment.
I told you he's gonna get flagged. He's not pre-moving.
No,
After rook to
Boris.
a3, he had 4 seconds up and a piece up. It's an
Boris.
auto win if you pre-move.
Boris. all
But you
have
just
do
have to
is
pre-move. If you don't, yeah, that's the issue. Boris doesn't pre-move.
Oh my goodness, Boris. Moral degradation.
That's how the game is. What can you do?
Moral degradation.
All right, I guess that about sums up the show.
I think that's it. I think that's it. All right. Congrats to Vincent
Thank you.
and to you as well.
Well, Vincent still has to win one more match, but okay. We'll get
congrats to
that
Vincent for winning this absolute ridiculous match.
Yeah. He was on the cusp of losing, that's true.
Vincent is the flagger of legends. He first flagged Kramnik with a piece down or a rook down. I don't remember exactly what it was. And now he flags Boris a piece down. Impressive. The flagger of legends. Okay. I think it's time, Fabby.
All right, I'll head out.
Me too. See you guys. It is about time to call it a day. We will see you most likely tomorrow for the grand finals.
Let's start 15 minutes later tomorrow. I'll just give that heads up.
How much time?
15 minutes after.
Okay.
After the normal time.
Okay. I should be able to cover it.
Poor Boris.
Yeah.
So close.